Hello, this is my long overdue video about the Finnish military camouflage pattern M05, and it seems that I'm going to make several videos about the topic. So the first video will be about mostly random rants about the subject, and then there will be separate videos for different sets of clothing that I have, meaning one video for the camouflage uniform and then one for the winter set, meaning the thermal jacket and trousers, and one for the snow camouflage pattern set, and there will be one video about other accessories like hats and gloves and other stuff that you can get in M05 camouflage pattern. Now this might be a relatively long video, so if you don't want to watch it, then don't watch it, because there will be mostly a general discussion about the stuff and not really that much about the uniforms itself. But anyhow, so the M05 camouflage pattern was adopted at 2007, and it was restricted from the civilian use for 10 years, and the reason was that the Finnish military didn't really want to have it used, and they basically said that it's a copyright issue or something like, so it was basically protected design. Now it was released for the public last fall, so I got myself the 3 clothing sets that was available, and these are the original sets that Finnish military is using. So basically the design pattern is similar what the Finnish military is using. Now there is a Finnish company called Varusteleka that is basically selling little bit more advanced or little bit modified sets of these uniforms, and I have to say that if you have a choice between the stuff that Varusteleka is making and the original, I would say that the Varusteleka is a little bit better, as they had this M05 res marking in their clothing, so basically you could at least wear their clothing in official Finnish military exercises and events. That is a restriction that, or actually a thing that you should have. You should have this M05 res marking, and Varusteleka seems to be the only company that currently has acquired that now. Originally I bought myself these clothes from the Intti store, and Intti store went bankrupt maybe half a year ago or so. So that is not anymore an option to get the stuff from there. These original clothing can be bought from separate stores around Finland quite easily, but like it's a little bit difficult to find sizes. So basically I don't know what went wrong with the Intti store, because this was highly anticipated. I think the marketing was a little bit bad, or otherwise the company wasn't viable. Now basically the M05 camouflage pattern is some kind of a result of basically scientific research. So when they were designing this pattern, they basically took thousands of pictures of Finnish nature all around the country, and they decided to find 4 most common colors. So they ended up with basically 2 shades of green, basically black, and a shade of brown. And I would have to say that the M05 is probably the best camouflage pattern for the Scandinavian environment, especially in the wooded area. It works quite well also in the, let's say, the Finnish laplands and open lands and fields. Not necessarily the best camouflage pattern in towns, because it's mainly designed for forest use. The Finnish military has some kind of let's say urban city pattern, but it's not basically adopted. I haven't really seen any evidence that there would be any equipment in that, so it might be that they have discarded that. Now M05 is not basically digital camouflage pattern. It's basically it's very similar, but I would say it's mostly like this hexagonal or very random looking pattern, but it works on both micro and macro levels, so it works on close-ups and from the far distance. So, and it also works very well straight from the basically factory. So it's not like the American UCP where the whole camouflage pattern works only if the uniform is basically worn on the operation area. So it starts working better the more dirty it gets. So yeah, what comes to the materials of this clothing that you can get like from Farusteleka and other places is that there should be a near infrared, and so basically in night goggles it shouldn't be that visible. I'm not really sure if this material is fire retardant. I really expect that it isn't, because these are relatively cheap clothing. So it's not really meant for combat situations. Basically the M05 rest marking means that you can have these clothes with that marking in military exercises during peacetime, but in a war situation that would be basically off limits, because Finnish military of course wants to have control what kind of clothing you are wearing in combat situation, of course, and that's the business probably with almost all of the countries. Now the design aspects of most of this clothing is a really bit wonky, because well, let's say like Americans and the British, they have basically, as far as I can tell, they have different uniforms for different situations. So if you would have a parade, or you would have a if you want to leave, or you are indoor or outdoors duty, you would have different kinds of uniforms. Finnish military decided that okay, we'll have one uniform, meaning the summer uniform, that is this one, that it should work on almost every situation, meaning that this same uniform is worn in the parades, it's also worn in the indoors and outdoors during the summertime and during winter time. So it's a weird compromise between everything, and it really shows actually. So there are really weird, well, I have to say that it's not as functional as a combat uniform or outdoors uniform as it actually might be if it was designed for one specific purpose. Now Finnish military, I have heard that there is a research, or actually some kind of cooperative design project for combat uniforms with Sweden, Norway and Denmark and other Scandinavian countries, and it seems that it is it's not probably going as well as it should, because the specifications for different countries is a little bit different. Like Finnish is basically +25 to -30, and in Denmark it's probably never below 0. If there is below 0, they don't really need Arctic equipment. Now Finland is a relatively small country, so basically meaning the population of 5 million people, and the whole, basically, I have some numbers that the Finnish military during wartime should be something like 250,000 people. So they all have to be equipped. Now if we like start comparing to other countries in northern, basically Europe, let's say Sweden has combat available troops of 51,000, and Estonia has 34,000, and Norway has 70,000. So Finnish military is quite large. It's basically, what comes to the manpower, is between Germany and France, so quite nice what comes to the size, but then there's a big limitation of what we can actually afford. So Finnish, if you're basically interested in the Finnish military set that the one soldier is carrying, costs something like 2,500, excluding the weapon system like rifles and grenades and bullets. So the 2,500 will contain boots, all the uniforms, gloves, socks, underwear, helmets, combat webbing, all the battle chest and all that. I believe also the body armor. So basically what is left for the actual uniform is quite limited amount. So basically I bought this from Intistore brand new, and the total cost for 3 sets of uniforms, couple of hats, was found like 500 euros. So they are relatively cheap, so you cannot really expect that they would be massively, like, absolutely great clothing. Of course, like, it depends what you are basically getting these for. I basically got myself this uniform set because I'm an active reservist and I want to have clothes that fit me, and they have a bright, nice, clean camouflage pattern, and I can wash them whenever I want. And that's about it. That's basically the main purpose why you should actually get this, or if you are into airsoft and that kind of military activities, or let's say if you are into hunting, or let's say maybe photography in the nature where you actually need the camouflage. Other than the camouflage pattern, these are not really that good clothing. So basically, if you are looking at good military kind of sets, you are probably better off with let's say British or American stuff. So yeah, so it depends what you actually want. Are you basically disappointed or not? You can actually use this in a normal environment, meaning outside the military. So let's say if you go hiking, you can wear the M05 camouflage pattern as long as you want. The thing is that these are just normal clothing as long as you don't have rank tabs and insignias, because it's a military uniform only if you have your rank, your names and other insignia. So those will make it a military uniform, and you cannot wear a military uniform unless you are actually in the military. So meaning it is so if you are not serving, you should have rank tabs. So of course, well, everyone can use their own judgment. Is it a good idea to basically have your military uniform or outdoors clothing like this when you go, let's say, hiking or trekking or spending time in the city? Basically, I believe this is a common thing in Europe and around the world, that professional military people don't wear the uniforms unless they do really need to, because there is the security risks. And if you basically are wearing your Finnish military uniforms when you go to a local bar or you go hiking, but basically, like, there is a reason why military people don't wear the uniforms during free time. So, well, you are basically, you make the decisions, and if you want to go to a town with the military sets, that's up to you. What comes to the materials and other aspects of the uniforms, like there's a really, I would say, some corners have been cut. So basically there is quite a lot of different kind of compromises, and some of these are quite nonsensical, I would say. Like if you, because I have some experience with, let's say, the British system that I have gone like 5 or 6 years when hiking and trekking, and also the American cold weather system. And the American cold weather system is absolutely brilliant. It's relatively cheap. Like if you go to eBay and you invest 1,000 euros, you get the whole system, and it works like a charm. And they have really thought that through, and because they have money and they have resources, and they can actually make changes to the uniforms if there's need. Finnish military has been using the same uniform pattern for the last 10 years, and there isn't really going to be any changes, even they basically knew that they fucked up in many of the aspects of the uniforms. Like Americans will make little changes to the uniform if they need, and let's say the British military also makes little adjustment here and there, and you can actually see it on the eBay when new stuff is coming. It's a little bit different and a little bit better than the previous ones, and it just keeps on getting lighter and better and well more designed. So basically it is a good basic outdoor set, but not necessarily the best option. So basically if you would spend 200 euros for this set of uniform, or something like 1,180 or 100, something like that. It's less than 200, but more than 150. You could get quite good set of from the civilian side, or let's say from the army surplus stores from the British side. So anyhow, what else actually?